Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Truth, Tall Tales, and Whiskey. Tonight we got Mr. Jeremy Gravely back out here. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, man.
Glad to have you back.
Glad to be back.
So since we had you, you got some new shit coming out, right?
Yes, sir.
What you got for us? I know you played a few of the new ones tonight, but
I did. I got a whole new album coming out. It's going to be 10 songs. It was originally going to be 12, but out of that, recording that, I decided to put the two of them on the next album. But yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
it's been a long time coming. I think the first single dropped in 2022. It's 2025. So
yeah, it's been a minute, man.
Or no, it's 2023. Yeah, Evergreen and Ain't It Beautiful. But yeah,
So that's going on the record?
yes,
Evergreen's going on the record?
yeah, Evergreen,
Nice.
Ain't It Beautiful, and then the EP, the American Dreams and Lies EP. All those songs will be on there too.
That's killer. I didn't know that.
So we released Where I Got My Fire. Wasn't that the
No,
one
we
dropped?
have not released.
That's not the one we dropped. I thought we did drop it. I thought we
didn't
dropped
drop
a music one.
You can.
I don't know. I say having you back out here like we dropped the last time you were here.
He
I
might have
forget that we're not.
Corey might have just committed us to it now.
Yeah, fuck it.
So
Yeah,
now
we're on the air live. So
We got to make a phone
it's
call.
got to happen now.
I think I might have just listened to it a whole bunch of times and thought we dropped it.
How'd that record come about? Who's engineering it and producing it, and where are you doing it?
So the guy that produced this album is a guy I've known for 12, 14 years. His name's Chris Marshall from Fort Worth. The studio is actually in Haslett. He's had studios in Austin and Corpus Christi and Nashville, but his main studio is in north of Fort Worth. But yeah, me and him like have known each other for years. I used to play in like heavy metal bands and stuff, and Chris was a drummer and a producer back then, and that's how I met him in my first band there. But I kind of just stayed in contact, and but me and him click well. He's got 2 kids and I got kids, and we're the same age, so very similar taste in music. But he's an excellent engineer, so it's hard to beat. Me and him vibe so well too. Like most of the time in the studio, like it's just me and him kind of like creating sounds and whatnot and like tracking everything. And then we'll hire, Chris does drums and I do drums, so we take care of that. But it's a lot of fun, man. I love it.
I've never heard you play drums. I want to hear that happen.
Me either.
Dude, I love drums. I actually like my very first like official band. Well, no, probably my second band. It was a Christian band, and I played drums. The band name was Theos back in the day.
I remember that.
Yeah, I played drums, man. I loved it.
I didn't know you were a part of that, but there was some of my family members that were a part of it.
Man, that was a controversial thing. I got kicked out of the band. It was a Christian band.
What'd you do?
Man,
Now we got another story.
well, I was young and dumb, So the story is, these are great guys, by the way. Amazing guys. And they were just older than me, and I was like this young. I was kind of like in between of like, I've always been a believer, and like I love playing, but I was just kind of like really immature. Like I was terrible with money at the time, and like I think I like that we'd put the band drums on on one of the guys' credit cards, and like I didn't pay it off. He like gave me the credit card, and I was out like spending money on it.
Damn.
Young and dumb, okay.
You had to get your shit together.
I would edit that out, but I want to share it, so.
Understandable. But I remember I was in elementary, middle school, and a whole bunch of people in Caddo were wearing their shirts and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Good times, man.
Mm-hmm. So, how did you get your start in music before that?
Man, my grandmother sang in church, played piano.
Did she really?
Yeah. And
Wait, the grandmother that I know?
no, that's math teacher.
Yeah, that's math teacher.
She's not
I was about to say
inclined at all.
I was about to say, she was playing music that's a whole side of her I never knew about.
She actually gave me a piano too. It's actually in my studio right now. But no, my mom's mom, my grandmother, she sang in church, and like that was my first, seeing music kind of thing. And then after that, it was like seeing Christian rock bands play at the church. And I would like, everybody else would be kind of doing their thing, and I'd be over there like just standing there watching a guitar player like a weirdo. Like I want to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I loved it, man.
It's a common theme, I think. A lot of the people that
I was just zoning
come
out.
in.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
But a lot of the people that come in here, it's almost like you can tell some of the best ones that, they grew up in church and they grew up. That was sort of the first inspiration, was seeing.
Just watching the band.
Yeah, watching
true,
the
man.
band play. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
true. Man, so I want to know, what pushes Jeremy Gravely to do music these days? Because, man, you're a hardworking dude. You know what I mean? You got a lot going on. What's your driving factor that you just
That is a
feel
great
deep
question.
down in your soul that
That's
I've got to
a
do
great
this?
Booking. He loves booking.
It's
Don't we all? Don't we all? Best part, really.
he's remembering the text messages he received from me yesterday about that.
Was it about me not
That was
responding?
that was an emotional Jeremy.
Were you on a tirade
Angry.
yesterday, bro?
Oh,
you was on a
gosh.
tirade?
Yes, I texted about 5-6 people yesterday,
I think I might have a couple unread texts
complaining.
from you.
You got to let them know sometimes, man.
But the way I do it, I get mad like that, and I'll text my really close friends, all this mean shit about whoever, and then the next day, but hey man, I'm really sorry. That was a little ridiculous. I do it's every time.
You got to have buddies to vent to.
Oh
Yeah, it's
mean,
probably,
yeah,
it's probably
you-
better
I
than
mean,
going
yeah.
off directly on those people.
Oh yeah. But I'm always like, I feel like, man, that probably came across really aggressive. Like, I wasn't mad at you, I promise. I was mad at them. It's not you, it's them. But anyway, what was your question again?
So, like, what's your driving force to do music these days? You know, amongst all the things
Man.
you got going on.
Honestly, it is very simple, and it has always been the same thing my entire life. So as long as I've been playing, it's been the same thing. So songwriting especially. So for me, like, I'm a very like sensitive person, and like music is almost like therapy for me, you know?
Oh, I feel that, dude.
Whatever
100%,
I go
100%.
through in life, like, I mean, different roller coasters of emotions, whatever, but like there's always a song for it. But like I go through life like trying to find the next song.
Yeah.
And I actually get frustrated when I'm staring at my iPhone and I've had all the same songs for a long time. I'm needing something fresh. And like that feeling of like wanting to have something fresh
Yeah.
pushes me to songwriting, because that's where I can like make something that makes me feel whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
And really, like with my songwriting and everything, like my whole goal, the only goal I have, it's not about going viral or famous or anything in regards to like what like people think of me. Like songwriting, I want to do. I'm always trying to just write a song that means like something to somebody else, the way like all my favorite songs. I want to write a song that somebody puts on their playlist type of thing. You know?
Right.
Because that to me is like it, you know. If somebody's going to take your song and put it on their playlist because they really love it, because that's kind of like the verify, you know,
Yeah.
or the confirmation that the song is good.
Well, dude, that's something that I've always appreciated about your music and your sound, man, is like you definitely do incorporate that into your sound. And if I was just going to like recommend your music to somebody, it would be like that college kid that's got like a 4-hour ride home
Yeah.
on spring break.
I love that.
You know, and they're
Yeah.
driving down that road and it's nothing but trees and shit and
Yeah.
guardrails and shit. And they're jamming some Jeremy Gravely, dog. It's like, it's
Yeah,
got
yeah.
this nostalgic thing to it. I just love it, man.
Yeah,
I might be a little biased, you know what I'm saying? But it's damn good music.
Yeah, we're boys.
But you've
Yeah.
done.
I'm biased towards yours too. I love it.
We've
appreciate
like
that,
known
brother.
each other, but we've not been close for a long time. That's
I've
more
followed
recent.
you for years, but
But the dude,
recently we're
I heard Evergreen and that song. I was like, dang man,
That's
like
a great, I don't mean to interrupt, but that's
Thanks.
a great introduction song to Jeremy Gravely. You
Yeah,
know what I
I-
mean? Like,
I
go check
appreciate
out
it.
Evergreen.
But what's really cool is that you wrote that song, and then everything visually that I see in my mind, you're able to do all that with
Thanks.
design work, you know, and like the website, like you tailor that very, very well. You
thanks,
know?
man. I feel
Coming-
like all that stuff is a expression of like you know, like as an artist in general.
That coming from the guy that does everybody's cover art, that's a compliment right there.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is a compliment.
I pay attention to
Brandon
everything
doesn't
that he
even
puts
know
out.
how much when he when he says good things. I'm like, that's a big compliment.
Start blushing. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. Get a little nervous. You know? The first show I played with Brandon, I was like extremely nervous. Cause
Don't tell me that.
I've been a fan of him forever. And like I was, I even drank too much that night and like fucked up a couple lyrics. So I was like, dude, I'm sorry.
That's the fun part. I
Had a little bit too much whiskey.
Yeah, I'm sure I did too, but
And I didn't eat that day because I was nervous, you know?
Oh, dude. It's
Bad
always
idea.
bad.
I don't know.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is contributing to that when I'm watching the homies play shows.
oh, he will too. And Corey just comes in like a bomb too when you're drinking bourbon all night, and then he's
Rumple!
like, "Here's this rumple shot."
Oh,
Or maybe you don't even get told. Maybe you just think that it's gonna
he's
be
done
whatever.
the
you're-
rumple thing with me before too, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
What kind of rumple is this?
What kind of rumple?
the minty kind.
There's only one kind, right?
Holy water.
The kind that makes you reevaluate your life.
But you know,
The
we're
one that's going to send you over the edge.
Yeah.
we've played together, and that guild that you played tonight, I've noticed that, and I've commented on that guild before,
I love that.
and I know that there's a story behind that guild.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let me talk about that. So, these songs that I've been writing lately I've written in a Celtic tuning, and my dad and my brother. My brother's big into Irish stuff too, but my dad had this certain album that he liked. That was this guy had written all these songs. I think it was like 6 or 7 songs, maybe 8, but it was a small album, but I loved it. It was a songwriter, and it was like an Irish guy. And my dad had like he had different wide ranging tastes, but this album had like, it's very specific. Like every song on that album was written in this tuning. And it was like a C sharp. I think it's a strange tuning, but I love the way it sounds. It has this like Irish tone to it. But anyway, that guitar, the guy that wrote that album, like the guitar that he used was this, it was a Taylor guitar, I believe, a 315. But they don't make it anymore. And I'm really weird like this. Like when all my guitars I had like 15 guitars, and I could not get my acoustic to sound good in that low tuning. So I was like really researching how that guy, or what type of guitar he played. And but anyway, I looked it up, and it was like African mahogany back and sides. So I like was looking at different guitars trying to find that, you know. But there was other bands too that played in this tuning. So, and I had noticed that like Guild, it was always a jumbo body. So like when I was looking for guitars, I went to Guild and looked at it. Goo Goo Dolls played it. Need to Breathe played the same guitar. And but anyway, I found this one, and they make these guitars. It's called a Guild F40. It's a jumbo, but it has a longer scale length, so it holds that low tuning a lot better. And that was the trick. I was always trying to figure out how that guy got his guitar to sound so good, and that was the trick. But anyway, this one, my dad always loved black. Like if he bought a motorcycle, it was going to be black. If he bought a hat, a hoodie, truck, whatever it was going to be black. It was very boring. Okay.
I like him.
Yeah. And I'm not big on black. I wear black, but it's like, I like color, you know. But anyway, this guitar, they only make a natural color and a sunburst, but they did like a special run of a black one. And I was like, I got to have that. Cause you know, my dad was like, that's the one my dad would pick. And, but another special thing about that guitar too, is that the guitar was made in a certain part of California where me and my dad, it was the last vacation I went with my dad before he passed away. So it's got like this sentimental value to me too. Cause we used to go out there with my Uncle Kevin. He lived out there in, like, I think it's Apple Valley, which is north of LA. And, but anyway, we would go out there and spend a lot of time. So like this guitar is built in that same town out there. I can't remember the name of it. I have to look at it. I'll have to pull it out here in a minute. But anyway, so that song means a lot, or that guitar means a lot to me just because of that. And I'm weird like that. Like it has this super sentimental thing, like being black and being like a special run, you know? And then also like I took that Celtic tuning of that album my dad had, and I wrote several songs for him in that too. So that's going to be,
I mean, the two you played today.
yeah,
bring that to
yeah.
me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I loved it. Long story, but
No, it's a fucking cool ass story. That's what we do this for.
I think that's special, and those are the things that you'll never think to get rid of that guitar now. You know what I mean?
oh, I can't, man.
It'll be around forever.
Bonded to me now.
Yeah.
I went and
love
bought
that.
another one, actually. Shouldn't have done that.
Did you really?
I did. Yeah.
Does it sound the same?
It sounds close. This one sounds a little bit different. The other one has like a very thin nitrocellulose finish. So it's just different.
It's not the finish. It's the story.
Yeah.
The story's
It
not
doesn't
there, so it
have-
doesn't
yeah,
sound the same.
Exactly.
You know?
That's exactly right.
But that's cool, man.
Yeah.
We were talking about you have a little bit of disdain for TikTok.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, here
Yes.
we're not gonna be able to post this on TikTok now.
Yeah.
We'll just
No, you have to now.
yeah, just leave it up.
So I have like a love-hate relationship with TikTok.
We'll
Yeah.
say
Your
we'll
TikTok
say
is doing-
social,
your
we'll just
TikTok
say
is-
social media. you
So
know?
what do y'all think of my TikTok? Is it booming
It's
or
doing very well.
doing well? Yeah.
It's doing pretty well.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
And it's kind of out of nowhere too, because you posted a bunch of them. And then
Well-
the last ones that I've seen you post are like popping up on my For You.
I talked to you before
Hell yeah.
all the social media stuff, and you even told me, you were like, I don't like doing it. I don't like talking
I
about
don't.
myself.
I don't. It's weird, like, and that's one of the. I've always been a big fan of band names because of the fact that it kind of hides this. You can kind of hide behind it in a good way. I mean, because like when you're releasing, like for me, it can feel so weird to just have your name all over shit, and then like posting on TikTok constantly about yourself. It becomes very like self-indulgent kind of thing. And like, I don't know. I just don't. And it's weird because like, and this is another thing I want to talk about too. Like songwriting in general. And like a lot of therapists talk about like artists in general are like extremely selfish. You know what I mean? But I disagree. Like I think that artists, like for me, like we're going deep here. Okay. Y'all get ready. Everybody got their headphones on.
Go for it.
Seatbelts on.
Seatbelts. So me, like I think the best song, like as I write songs or whatever art I'm working on, like I feel like if you can get to a point to where like, for me everything starts out for myself, but like in the end I feel like you're doing something for other people too, like on an emotional level. Like I want to create something that genuinely means something to other people. And I know this is really deep, somewhat goofy, whatever, but I feel like that's where the greatest art happens, is when like you kind of let go of like what it means to you, and you're kind of like creating past that a little bit, like making something that on a deep levels for other people,
Mm-hmm.
To
Yeah,
me,
and
that's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I agree
Well,
100%, man.
We've heard from a lot of artists that have come in here too. It's like even if they don't like a song that they put out that much, if somebody comes up to me and is like, that song meant the world to me, like that song helped me through this time, that song helped me through that time, they're like, okay, it makes it worth it at that point.
Oh yeah. This is another thing too. I've put out songs that I've taken down, and like I've had people be like, why'd you take that down? I love it. And I'm like, I hate that song. Y'all ever
Because
done
I
that?
can.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never have. There's some that I would like to, but I mean, that's the thing, man. Like, and it goes back to the carefully sort of curated version of what you do. I think everything that you have up is very, very good, and
Thanks, man.
I think you're good at making people feel a certain way,
He's
and
blushing again.
you navigate that,
My face red.
based
No,
off the look. But that, and here's where we won't be canceled off of TikTok. Social media, I do think, provides you the opportunity to really tell that full story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I had to like, the whole I don't hate TikTok at all. I mean, I'm on there all day, just like the rest of y'all. But anyway, I hated like being or feeling like a slave to content kind of thing. Like to me, it's not, because it's just the way people put it. Like you got to make content every day,
Right.
3 times a day. I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah, most
Because-
artists, yeah.
Because my thing is like, it's as an artist, like you have to be an artist, and like you can't kind of
Right.
force things. Like when you start doing this like scheduled content shit, it starts to become like very boring and like very predictive and very like not art at all, And so, but I've learned to have fun with it, like with videographers and like just different things, like make it fun. That's the only way I've been able to do it, to be honest.
Yeah. I think it is good to, be relatable to your audience, you got to tell your story off the stage too. And I think it's a cool thing, even though most artists, we struggle with that.
Oh yeah.
It's cool to look at it from a different perspective and be like, man, I can be this personality where like somebody in Kansas knows who I am, and they'll come to your show one day. They'll say, man, I never seen him before, but I drove all the way from Kansas to see him play. And like that shit really happens.
Oh, it does for sure. I've actually the online thing is this whole other ballpark of amazing stuff as far as like finding fans, because you have you can go play at the local bar and there may be, even if like on a good night, you have 100 people come. That's wonderful. And it's fun. It's its own thing, but like releasing yourself, like getting a good video of you playing and putting it online, like that has the potential of seeing like 1 million people, or more. And
in certain ways it has more value.
And we all
especially
you do both, but like the online world is such a crazy thing. Like I've had fans from all over, like, and a lot of them like will message me, and like I've literally become friends with these people, and I love it. It's the coolest thing. That's like a very like special thing to me too, because people will message me, I love the song or whatever they want to say, and then we'll just like they'll keep commenting on my stuff for the next however long. But I love it because they're like friends of mine now. I don't view it like a friend, like a fan. Like some of them have told me this song means this to me, and like somebody recently had said that they had lost like their mom and their dad in the last year, which I did too. I didn't lose my mom, but I lost my dad. So I like related to them too, so like the songs and like where I got my fire song, I wrote about my granddad. I actually wrote that song taking inspiration from both of them, because I had my dad's dad and my mom's dad, and they were both a big inspiration to me. So I took the lyrics, and the lyrics are kind of written towards one person, but I took inspiration for the lyrics from both of them. But that song like related to this girl so much, and she was very sweet. So
mission accomplished.
Yes.
When you were talking about making music outside yourself, that affects people.
Man, that's really like that. Like getting a bunch of likes on an Instagram post or a TikTok post or a bunch of monthly listeners or on Spotify or whatever it may be, or a bunch of followers on Instagram, doesn't matter. Like those things, like whenever somebody message you and they really mean it, like the song means that, like, because if they're going to reach out to you and say something about their own personal life, it obviously means a lot to them. Because I wouldn't do that if it didn't mean, so that's
right.
That right there is the best stuff. That's what it's about for me. For real.
It really is.
Absolutely.
It does give you a sense of purpose outside of what you're already doing.
Yeah. It's like the biggest confirmation, like I'm doing this for the right reasons type of thing.
Yeah.
And that's important too. I think like your why is, not to get all motivational, but your why is like the most important thing, because that's what makes whatever you're doing like genuine or authentic. You know what I mean? If you're doing, it's the same concept of like you have a guy walk in a room or a bar and he's clearly trying to be the coolest guy in the room. Like you can smell that on him, and like songs are the same way, and music's the same way. Yeah. If somebody's trying so hard to be this or that, like you can smell it on them. Like
right.
You can see right through it. Like so, but if you're writing from like an authentic point, that's like clear as day. But
yep, 100%.
And I've called myself out on that too. Like in the younger days. And every songwriter knows this, but like when you first start writing shit, you'll like release anything and show anybody. But then you look back and you're like, gosh, damn, I can't believe I
wish
wrote
I'd
that.
have waited.
Yeah, should have waited. Oh,
my philosophy on that is you have to allow yourself to suck.
You do. That's
in order to
important
get
too.
better. Like you need people to be like, dude, that wasn't any good.
Coming
you
from
surround
you,
yourself with yes men that are always, oh man, that sounds great every time you go play. Well, like. You had to know me when I was like young, trying to cultivate my voice and all that.
Yeah,
you gotta suck. You gotta grow from there. So I don't know.
You have a history in music too, like a past, like a good one.
Martin's been all over.
Yeah, I've checked you out. I know.
No, there's stuff that Martin's got in the vault that you've never heard.
Oh, really?
But you've mentioned that you don't necessarily like TikTok. Is that like most of social media you're uncomfortable with, posting about yourself and all that?
That's all it is. I love the social media of how it works because I'm on there all the time. I love like checking out other stuff, but I guess it's this like extremely self-indulgent thing is what it feels like, you know, like I was talking about earlier. It's just like, it's hard to, and I do it, but I really try to do it artistically.
That's what I was gonna say.
Because that's important to me too, you know, like and it's not just about, it's not all about the way you come across, but for me, like and this is something I don't do a lot of, but like there's a lot of people that the only thing they post is user generated content, to where they're like sitting on the floor in the hallway singing. And I love stuff like that. No, I'm not bashing anybody. Y'all don't come for me, I swear. But like, you gotta, I feel like I don't do a lot of that because like I relate that to, and this is gonna sound weird, I'm sure, but like it's the same thing like in Nashville when you're walking down the street and somebody's playing the guitar on the side of the road. I'm not bashing those guys, you know. Don't hate me, I swear. But like, I don't want to be the guy that's like constantly posting 3 videos a day of myself sitting in the same spot. You know, it's kind of like it gets kind of boring. You know what I mean?
Well,
much, and I don't mean that anything against the artist out there on the street.
That's what separates.
I give them all my money all the time. I love them. I take pictures with them.
We had this conversation before. Yeah. We had this conversation when you were talking about not liking doing the thing, and I said if you're authentic, it comes across authentic.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That's a great point, because as much trash as I'm talking about the user-generated content, there's like people out there that like I'll come across and I like have to watch this because it's so good.
Yeah, if it's there,
so it proves me wrong, and like what I just said, you know, like and I think that has to do with being authentic. You know what I mean?
It's all in what you believe in and how you feel, and if somebody's excited about doing those things, it comes across, and people can see that. You know, but I think your version of how you put yourself out there is,
I'm a big self-critic too. Like every single thing I do, I'm like, that's probably related to something in my childhood. I don't know.
Tell us about it.
Let me lay down. We'll talk about it. But no,
you recorded songs with us perfectly, and you're like, was that all right?
Oh, yeah.
Was that good? I get it.
Yeah, I'm my own worst critic. Everything. Y'all should see me making album art and all that shit. Gosh, damn. I'm like, no, this ain't gonna work.
You make some badass album art, man.
So
you do.
Brandon will relate to me on this. So when so to me, it's this whole art project, really. Like you're putting together an album, right? And you write all these songs, and like there's all that experience, life experience, and all this shit. But then you get to, there's different stages. Like there's the recording of the song, and that's a whole different art thing too in itself. Like, because a lot of magic happens in the studio, and then you get that done, you get the songs we're at. So then you've got, like, for me right now, I have 10 songs for this album I've been working on, and but coming up with the album art is like a whole nother animal, because you're like, well, I've got to find something that like embodies what I'm trying to do here, you know, because a lot of people just will put it out with a random old album cover, you know, but to me it's that is just as important, because it's like a visual you're going to see as you're listening to it. So, and I'm weird like that. It's got to be right.
That is not weird, and I preach that.
Yeah,
I tell everybody that. I mean, if you are an artist and you have your music makes you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And if you think hard about that, you can explain it, you know.
Yeah.
And even if you're not artistically inclined to be able to come up with that art on your own, I mean, you can get somebody to, and I've never understood the people that don't. Yeah. You know, if you have the ability to tell the entire story, not just with your songs, you know, you can have the visual too to help just drive that home.
Yeah.
Why not do it?
Oh, exactly. You know? Yeah. And like doing this whole thing has been like, it's such a big, there's so many different avenues of it. Like you've got the album art, the recording process where you're working with an engineer, and that's an artist too, in a way, 100%. And then you've got the like album art, but then like music videos and stuff. Like, I did my first like actual music video with Adam Paul Stone, and we actually he hired actor. He's a director. He does short films, and he's a really talented dude. Big fan. But it was such a fun thing to to be there. Like he let me kind of like do whatever I wanted on the set. He, you know, which is my music video anyway. But he was like, yeah, whatever. I'd be right behind the camera 90% of the time, getting in the way. Like, hey, can you stand back a little bit? Like, yeah, sorry, dude. But yeah, it was so much fun. Like watching, like we hired like 3 real actors, and they were amazing. There was a young version of me, and then the grandpa, and then the me at my age now. And like I loved watching them all. The young one, and Rusty is the guy that played grandpa, coolest dude in the world. But Adam, the guy that played me, like I literally cried watching the bedroom scene because he's like a really talented actor, you know, like, and Adam Paul, they're both names Adam. Adam Louder was the actor and Adam Paul Stone was the director. But anyway, Adam told me he was really talented, but watching that scene, so we're shooting the bedroom scene, and it's this part of the song where he's like kind of looking, there's the picture of my grandpa on the nightstand. I don't know if y'all seen it, but anyway, it's an emotional scene. So like, but we're in there with the camera and like the lighting, and it was such a special thing because he like genuinely cried. He's kind of, I would call him a method actor. I don't know if he would call himself that, but to me, like, he kind of was able to think about things in his past that he's gone through or experience of his life. And like after watching the scene, I like teared up watching him because he literally cried in the scene. You can't see it that well on the music video, but it was like the most special thing to me because it was so cool to watch. But that's a whole nother world of artistry, you know?
Well, it's like he embodied everything you wanted him to.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And that video was really cool because everybody put so much into it, and it really brought that. Like Adam wrote the whole script for that and brought the whole thing to life. And when he sent it to me, so he sent me the script. They writ like the very first one, but then he sent me like a digital mock-up. It's basically like a digital cartoon of how it was going to look, which was neat as hell. But anyway, I got emotional watching the cartoon. I'm like sitting here crying, tissues, shit. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it was cool. But yeah, it's, you know, like that's one thing I love about music in general is like you have there's so many different avenues of art and work to do at the same time. You know, like you've got the artwork, the studio, all this stuff, the music videos, all that stuff. And then the live performance is its own thing, you know. That's a whole different ballgame, you know. But then, yeah, I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, with all of it, it's a bunch of different artists in their own craft coming together to make one thing happen. It's fucking beautiful. And coming back to the way that he embodied like crying throughout that, and crying in the scene and everything, the way that you like write songs, you paint a picture with it. It's badass. That's why I enjoy your songwriting like crazy.
Thanks, brother. It like songwriting is weird. If you are a songwriter that is good, and I don't consider myself good, but I've heard other ones say this, like it humbles you as you go because like you write a lot of shit songs in the beginning, you know, and like it takes a long time to get to a process to where you're like able to like just kind of let it flow. And I feel like I'm scratching the surface on that, you know?
Yeah.
But I really appreciate it, man. That means a lot to me that you say that.
Well, everybody's going to interpret their own way too, but if you can paint a picture with it, they're going to paint their own picture with it as well.
Exactly. That's important too. I think I love when other people like the song means that like it's like their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really the goal in the end anyway. You know, like it means something to you, but like when somebody takes the song and it affects them however way, I think that's whenever like the art, like what I was talking about earlier about how it becomes this selfless thing. I think that's whenever it does that. Like whenever it's not about you anymore. They've taken the song and it means something totally different to them, you know?
Right.
That's the best stuff.
Your music just makes me want to go like camping or something.
Hell yeah, I love camping. Let's go right now.
There you go. Go fishing.
After we get done here.
It's like,
hey, there's a pond out there.
I know,
Martin, we're staying.
I know Jeremy likes the outdoors too. We were at Zach's house one night late, and he was out there throwing wood on the fire late in the night. We were on the porch playing music. He's out there throwing wood, making sure the fire kept going.
You can ask my neighbors. One of them's a firefighter. His name's Logan Baker. Calling him out here, but anyway, like we
went with him.
Did you? Yeah. No, it's not the same Logan.
Not the same Logan Baker.
He's from Forney.
Oh, never mind.
But anyway, I'm always the guy that's gathering the firewood and starting a fire. It could be freaking 110 in the summertime. Like, Jeremy, we don't need fire. I'm like, I know, but it's fun.
Yes, we do.
I want to sit around the fire, damn it.
Yeah, I'm like, we're camping.
I want to watch things burn.
I like to tinker with stuff. I'll be over there like on the ground with a lighter and some sticks, like blowing.
It's that accomplishment of creating something. And real quick,
It's
I know
like
we're
Castaway. As soon as I'm done building it, like, I made fire. Yeah.
I know we're getting close to wrapping this up, but Jeremy, I will say, does his own merch at this point, or at least hats.
Yes.
Shit, we all got some of it too.
Yeah.
That's right. Got to take care of my buddies.
Yeah, which is, I mean, that's pretty killer.
That's right. If you buy a hat, just know I sewed the patch on myself. I probably messed up 2 or 3 before that one came out good, but that's hand sewn right there.
Yeah, so
baby.
direct any complaints directly to Jeremy.
Yes.
I'll be damned. This is handsome.
You missed a stitch.
Yeah, you can do
Did y'all
it's
show
okay.
the camera? Show the camera. I'm just kidding.
A little ripple right there. That's handmade.
Shoot, yeah.
I think they're
So
rad.
if you're a Jeremy Gravely fan, if you buy any merch, you know that's come directly from him.
Yeah, I love it. This is honestly like this last batch. I was like, oh my gosh, that's killer. That patch with like the skeleton cowboy hat thing is super rad to me.
Thanks, man.
Man, y'all just put the wrong one on the front. Okay, that shit's crispy. Look at that.
Yeah, that one.
Look at
that
that
one. That one looks way better.
Look,
That's the original logo right there.
that's a Wednesday hat right there. He made that on a Wednesday.
He's correct.
Dude, when
Wednesday.
you sent me a couple hoodies, I gave my dad one of them. He wears that fucking hoodie everywhere he goes.
My man, he's a fan.
It's got the same evergreen logo like Josh's shirt right there. That hoodie you sent.
We got to talk about this on the podcast. So, a friend of mine printed these shirts. That's East Texas Print Shop in Greenville, Texas. But anyway, I had another friend help me with the design, and like when we were doing the colors, it's funny because the song's title's Evergreen, but the evergreen shirts, the colors, the color of a dead tree. It's like rust, you know.
Dude, it's okay.
And it's
it
fun.
goes with everything.
It does, and that, like when I saw it, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it anyway. I like it. I like the colors.
Because if it were green, you couldn't wear it with everything. And that color right there, you can wear with everything you have.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
Neutral colors.
So what? We talked about the album, everything. Did you say release date? Do you know any around when it's gonna happen?
So I'll tell you exactly where we're at, and this is like, there's no release date yet, but I will say this: we're like getting close. I would say 2 months tops.
Oh shit!
Yes, I'm excited. This album's been a long time in the making, you know.
A long time.
But it's cool because I found my process with making a full, because making a full-length album is a lot different than doing an EP, you know, like everything kind of has to be in sync, and it's a body of work in my opinion, you know. It's like back to the whole art thing, it's a body of work. But the cool thing is all the time it took to do this, I've got 2 albums I've already started that this album kind of inspired, like finding myself, you know, with everything, you know. And a lot of these songs on this album are very personal. So the last song that I wrote for this album was called Holy Days. And so I decided to name the album Holy Days, and I'm excited about that too, because the song itself, being a believer, the song is basically about, written from the view of me later in life, saying like you know, life gets you down, whatever, but like this song was written from like me wanting to go back to my holy days, you know, like remembering a time when you were like, you know, innocent or whatever, you know. But I'm excited about releasing that song. I haven't decided the order of the album, but yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'm stoked about it.
Well, I think I speak for all of us when I say we're looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, I got the album art is almost done, and I'm literally mixing and mastering the last 2 songs of the album right now. So
Make a vinyl. I'll play it every day.
dude, I am making a vinyl, but my vinyl is going to be a special one. There's going to be a combination. It's going to be like a compilation vinyl. It's going to be cool. Can't wait. I've actually have 3 songs done for it, because you have to get it mastered for vinyl.
Yeah.
That's its own thing too. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, glad to have you back out here, brother. Always good seeing you.
Glad to be here. Good time, man. Let's do it again.
Anybody got anything? Cool. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Truth, Tall Tales, and Whiskey.